Hello and welcome to the Football Manager Super League podcast, episode 29. It ain't over till it's over. Quite a fitting title, really. It really is. So today we are obviously going to be talking about some things that have happened within the last 24 hours that has kind of shook the FM world and also the wider world as the story has broken that Football Manager 25 will not be released. In a weird way, I'm kind of happy about it. And so is my co host, Mr. Christopher Rowe.
We are shook. We are shook. Who'd have thought? Do you know
That's
what?
just because Jake bounced. That wasn't just because Chrissy was shaking. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, hi Cam, how you doing? A lot to talk
Hey,
about
mate.
today.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. Well, fucking lot to talk about. But,
Can't.
you
I don't know where to
know,
start.
uh,
I
well,
honestly
um,
do not know
yeah.
where to start.
I mean, I don't know where to start, but at the same time, I think it's important that everybody kind of it seems weird for me, the one who would probably be the most irate at something like this, if versus had it been on 25, I would have been a bit more fuming. I would have been saying some more different stuff, but actually I'm kind of glad because
Yeah,
it
I was.
gives
I
us
was
some more, it
expecting.
gives us
I was
some more
expecting.
time.
I was expecting full Cam meltdown. I can't lie.
No, because do you know what, like, without going into it too much and disrupting the conversation for later, I think it's important to note that, like, these are people who have worked their arses off to try and get this game out. Whether we are in the know or not, these people have worked their arses to try and get this game out for it, and we shouldn't be criticizing too much because although as we're people who we want something as the consumer, and it's we can't be too harsh on people like Miles and the rest of the team, and you can't be too harsh on people that are working to try and bring you something, because if it doesn't come and if it's not right, I think this is the main point for me. It's not right for them to bring it out. But we'll jump straight into it because I think this is important. So we are talking about, obviously, the delayed, well, the now cancelled FM25.
Cancelled. Yeah.
Cancelled. So I think we'll start there and then we'll move into the league. But obviously, we didn't have a league update last week, so we will be providing a league update. And I think the song that you've chosen for later on is it's there. It fits the vibe for the whole podcast today. Um, so
I
yeah,
sent
we
you the
we will
lyrics
move
earlier
on.
than that.
Yeah, you did. And I was just singing me a little heart out of them. They were great. So obviously, we are the Football Manager Super League. For those who don't know, get to know. Um, so obviously, we have the 28 teams at the moment. We have two separate leagues with many cup competitions. So obviously, this came out today. I think it was 2:40, 2:34, 2:43 a.m. this
Good timing, to be
morning.
fair.
Well, to be fair, I think it's probably the best timing. I mean, I woke up because I'm an old man
Tactical.
I woke up because I am an old man at about 3 o'clock for a piss, and and as my phone was just going mental, I was going, "What's going on?" And then I seen something on Twitter, and I thought, "Oh, we'll just close that. I can't. It's too early. I'm trying to just go for a wee and not fall over." And then I went back to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, there'd been a video dropped by Loki Doki, so big shout out to him. Because if I hadn't have seen that, I probably would have been none the wiser until I checked the group chat later on. Um, that obviously Football Manager 25 has been cancelled. So I believe that it came from Sega and then Sports Interactive, um, following the whole kind of ordeal to do with quarterly business stuff. I'm not really that into it, but it does say, and I will be quoting here, and I will get right with the screen because I am blind. Sports Interactive regret to inform that, following the extensive internal discussion and careful consideration with Sega, we have made the difficult decision to cancel Football Manager 25 and shift our focus to the next release. Now, just in that bit alone, screams, oh dear.
See,
Like,
I
just
think
that
there's
bit alone screams, oh dear.
different. Yeah, there's different ways you can look at it. I mean, like you said to me before the pod, you pay what, 40 quid a year. Uh, what are we in February now? So we're talking what, 9 months? Not even that. 10 months, sorry. And you pay the 40 quid to not get a game that's, if they're not happy with it, then it wouldn't.
We're not going to be.
We wouldn't be happy with it. So, like you said, a lot of people work hard, and I bet they've been putting their hair out. I mean, big expectations for 26.
It has to be.
Yeah,
It has to be the biggest
it's a
game.
shame.
Like I said before, it has to be the biggest game that they've released as.
Well, that was
I
their
mean,
plan.
this
Was
is
this?
you've got to remember this is the only game that Sports Interactive make. It is their only game. So to go from having a game every year for the last God knows how many years to suddenly kaput. I mean, their finances will go down. People will probably get made redundant as a result because depending on how much money they're getting or how much money they've spent, do you know what I mean? Is Sega going to really back them anymore? Like, there is a whole host of things that you've got to take into consideration as a business before you know you before you push on. And I think it's a lot. And I mean, it does say due to stakeholder compliance, including legal and financial regulations, today was the earliest date that we can issue this statement. Now, I know a lot of people since the turn of was it turn of last week? We're pretty much yeah. So it was the turn of last week. I think it was this time last week. Everybody was going, oh no, they've not released anything yet. It's the 31st. Said they were going to release something on 31st. We've had nothing.
Nah.
So obviously there's been some issues there, legally, and that's all well and good for them. But for us as fans, it's a little bit, you know, disheartening because we expect a game every year, and I think that's something that a lot of people are forgetting, that there is gaming franchises like Rockstar, like Bethesda, who don't release games, their biggest games yearly. Why is that? Because it takes so long to put out a very good product. And I
Mm.
think
There's a lot that goes
sometimes you
into
just it's I mean, these people, they probably work what 12, 13 hours a day sat at a computer screen coding or doing whatever they do, creating graphics, and they're obviously trying to build in the new Unity engine, and it's just not worked. And I think it
like
was
they said.
Chrissy, you can probably correct me if I'm wrong. A couple of years ago, they were like when they announced the Unity engine was going to be in the later editions and they were going to start using it. They said we've already started work on it. It's looking great. So what are them people who've been sitting at that computer doing with this engine? Like what is wrong? Do you know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like that's the
it's one of the things.
that is the
Yeah,
question that more people should be asking rather than, well, why didn't they tell earlier? Why didn't they do this? That is the question that needs to be being asked by people. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think I think there's a lot of things that go into it, like you say. I mean, it says here with the launch of FN25, we set out to create the biggest technical and visual enhancements in this series of a generation. And I think when you not necessarily make promises, but say you're going to do these things, you don't want to release something that's not up to your scratch. Maybe they were dreaming too big. Maybe they took a step too big too quickly. But I
Maybe.
mean, hats off to them. I mean, FM24, FM23, they were both big successful games. You had the FM World Cup, which was a big success. So I can't see Sega pulling out as such because it's hard to say. We
It's
don't
the
know.
only
We don't
game of
know
its
the
kind.
financial things. Yeah.
It's the only game of its kind.
So,
So whether they've said this is your last chance, do something with it, otherwise you kaput. And I mean, let's be honest. If Sega went right from 2027, we're pulling out. We want no more to do with Sports Interactive. I can guarantee you, Sports Interactive will have 2K and EA on the hook
yeah, someone will pick
straight
it up.
away. Do you know what I mean?
That's
They're
why.
not
That's why Sega.
stupid.
That's why Sega won't get rid of it. Won't cut ties because someone will pick it up like that. It's a massive franchise.
Yeah, and
A
you've got
massive
to remember as
franchise.
well. Like, I mean, to be honest, there's a statement later on down here which we've already alluded to, and I think it's important that they've put this in because, and I did say, we've got to be happy with the product that they put out. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to be happy, and they've got to be happy. But sometimes they've
Mm.
been happy with a product and put it out, and we've went,
Yeah,
oh, oh, like we have. We've all done that. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been 22 or 23. And I just sat there going, they've just copy and pasted everything. And it's the same this year as well with the Versus engine. It's been the same for the last 2 years. They've literally just copy and pasted this same Versus engine in and went, that'll do. They have, and we can't deny it because every time you load a game on, every time you load a game on there, in the top little corner up here, it says FM22, and you just go, there's something wrong with that because it's FM24 now. So, but it does say here we could have pressed on, released FM25 in its current state, and fixed things down the line. This proves that these aren't Bethesda, by the way, because Bethesda do that a lot. But that is not the right thing to do. We were also unwilling to go beyond a March release as it would be too late in the football season to expect players to then buy another game later in the year. Like,
respect on
bravo,
that part.
bravo, because
Yeah,
there's not many
respect on that
companies
part.
would sacrifice their only income to go, you know what, we'll take the backlash for a few months and then we'll put out a really good game. It's not right. And I think this is the best way forward for Sports Interactive and the series itself is to just let this go because, like you said, it could have been a bit too big of a step. And I think
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, it's a shame. I mean, but if we get into things, what we're here for, from an FMSL point of view,
Yeah.
I, I'm really happy about. Say a word of that wrong. I'm gutted the game isn't getting released. I'm a passionate, massive FM fan, um, but for the FMSL, it's 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 sort of because we was all up in the air. We didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know if we were going to carry on after FM25 got released because Versus obviously is a big part of our league. That's how the managers play each other, and we was worried that people were gonna because it usually happens, doesn't it? At the end of a cycle, so FM23, everyone's already looking to FM24, and we thought that was going to happen with Football Manager 25, but now it's not here. There's going to be some big things happening in this league. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. And I think it's a shame that we didn't just wait a couple of months. In hindsight, if we just waited till now and went, okay, we'll start the league now, I wonder how many people who dropped out would jump back in. I really
Yeah,
do wonder.
maybe some people though,
Not loads,
the game
but I
run its
think there's a
course. The
few.
game run its course.
I think there's a
I
few
think
people who
with
would jump back in, at least.
yeah, they probably will be. They probably will be. Oops, I mean, who's to say that we don't extend it again? You know what I mean? People might leave. They always do.
Yeah, we
It'll be
have had one this week as well. Yeah, so it does happen, but I think it is an overall whole. Like I'm on the same wavelength as Chris here because it's a shame the game's not being released. I mean, I wasn't going to spend my money on it. Simple fact is because I can't afford to just spend my money like that. But in terms of go on, Chris, you get it down your son. But
right
in terms of kind of FMSL point, this is really good for us. Like, is a
now.
league who like the only reason we run is because of versus mode and have done since the very start. It kind of this is the whole league is as such, So it's
I mean, we had
it's nice.
moments before Christmas. We thought the league was going to end. We there was
Yeah,
speculation. We knew Versus wasn't going to be in FM25. People were already preparing to leave. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously it got backdated or prolonged, so to speak. So we set up the new database, a new league. Um, yeah, obviously we'll get a bit more into that as the pod goes on. But there was talk that it wasn't even going to be a league. I was part of me knew the league would have carried on to a certain degree because you have got your faithfuls. who stay within the league, who will carry on even if FM25 come out. I think there's a lot of people that play in the league, solely play in the league for the community and for the commodity. Commodity. Is that right, Ed? Come on, you're the masters. Geezer there.
Camaraderie.
That's the words. You know, I'm not big words. I can't even say most footballers' names. But I think the league would have carried on nonetheless.
Yeah,
But it's going to be
100%.
really interesting to see what happens now.
Yeah, it's a shame, but you know, we thank Sega and Sports Interactive for what they've done so far, and to do the right thing, even though the backlash is probably going to be bigger than it would have been if they just released it. Is kudos to
But
them,
that's
and
another thing
they've
as
done the
well,
right
Cam.
thing.
That's another thing, like you say. Like, thanks to Sports Interactive, Sega, da da da. That we've been playing this game for years, and there's a reason we've been playing this game for years because we love the game, we love the franchise. Most and nearly well, every they've got you now, but they will wait. They will wait for FM26 definitely. Or
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
and I think as long as it,
People find new saves in FM25, and do you know what I mean?
yeah, and I think it's important that they do it right because obviously they're going to introduce women's football, and if it's not right for them to release everything, it's one of those things, isn't it? If they don't release it right, it's not going to end well, and a lot
No.
of the licensing partners might go, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore. So it's a shame, really, because they might lose out on some stuff, but at the same time, everybody knows this is
But
the
but
biggest.
then but I like you say, you know how like some people are. You worked in restaurants, you worked at schools, you've worked in loads of different places, so you know how kind of business works. But with this thing, people can speculate and say, "Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
people are going to pull out. People Sega aren't going to." Sega might be like, Sega might have said, "Don't release that game if it's not ready. We'll just cancel it. Don't worry about it. We got Sonic.
yeah.
It's all
Like we're
good."
not in the know. Like yeah, we're we're not in the know. And you know, I've watched a lot of stuff today. Probably shouldn't have said that because I should be doing work, but I've watched a lot of stuff today, and I've seen a lot of people react in very different ways, more some mature than
Definitely.
others. And I think as well, one thing for content creators like ourselves, because we use FM, for us, it's actually great. It works at both ends of the spectrum. It's great for us, but for people like Work the Space, Loki Doki, Lelusio, Ceiling, that is not what they want. They want
No,
big games
because
all the time.
there's
They want
only
new
you got
to push the brand
yeah,
because there's only a certain lifespan of a game. So,
and you
but
got to think of new ideas, new saves to do. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of factors that come into it. Where for us, it's just we got more seasons, we got more windows, we got more
yeah.
cups, we got more leagues. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to be brilliant.
So just to end on a point of, you know, it is a good thing that, I mean, at least they didn't do this in November and went, oh, by the way, you're stuck with the same game, because people have then took time off FM to recharge and go, right, okay, we'll take a bit of time off, we'll wait, we'll hold it out, and now they're going to go, right, we'll go back to some old save, or we're going to go back to this, and it gets people still
Mm.
involved in Football Manager. So you know, that's the best thing. But turning our attention to the reason why we are all here and why everybody else is sat for 19 minutes and waiting for us to babble on about this shit. So, it's
Yeah,
not worked. There we go. Is it worked? Is it worked?
no,
There we
there we
go.
go.
So,
Oh,
again,
that's
a little
space.
recap of the teams and the budgets. If you want to pause, have a look at how much people have spent, how much people have got in net transfers and stuff like that. Feel free. But now this is the
Now
big one.
remember, Cam, remember that is without future fees taken off.
Oh yeah.
Come the window, a lot of them budgets are gonna be looking a bit different.
Oh yeah. So the next time we look at this, actually, it'll be after
Apart
window
from
or will be window
Furman,
week.
apart from Furman at Lazio, he's still gonna have 400 million.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So we'll take a look at
Oh,
this. So
Thing of
Eastern
beauty.
Championship, it is a thing of beauty, isn't it? So looking at this moment in time, so this was done about an hour or so ago. So if there's been games played, sorry, too late.
I don't think.
I don't think there has, but we can speculate. Like last time, we are mid podcast and Oliver was playing, so there's still time. But Brighton, top of the league, game
Game
in
in
hand.
hand.
It's
Do you know who he
looking.
plays? Do you know who he plays?
I think he plays Bal, doesn't he?
No.
Or Magnus.
Magnus. Magdingo.
Manding.
Magdingo, I said.
I thought you said Mandingo. I was like, whoa, hold on.
The
But yeah,
Swedish
that's gonna
sniper.
be good. That would be a good game to watch. That would be a game I'd tune into Sky Sport for.
Do you know what? I think if Magnus gets a win here, that will open up the league. Okay?
Oh yeah, totally.
That will open up the league. Magnus get a win, 21 points. Hopefully draws. I don't know who his last game is against. His other game is against. I think that might be Ballant. I may be wrong. Let me just double check because I really want to know. Because as you can see, Cam, I've not had a bad week.
You've
I've not
not
had
had
a
a
bad
bad
week
week.
at
I've
all.
not had a great week, but it's it is what it
I've
is.
managed to. So just talk about myself for a minute. I've
Oh,
ditched the
go on,
four
then.
three. I've ditched the 4-3-1-2. It it wasn't. It was defensively okay, but attacking and making chances was just terrible. I mean, you look at my. I think I'm fifth in the league with a -5. Is it minus? Sorry, I'm just checking his Magnus game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. So looking at that, minus what? Sorry, -4 now. Um, I needed more goals. I had to turn it around. I did. I went back to a 4-3-3 style. I'm not going to say too much because I want people to find out because it is very sneaky. But Magnus's other game is against Joe McMahon.
That'll be good.
That will be a good game. Even though he's down there, I know he's not been very well lately. He hasn't played one game yet this week. It is Friday, just to say. Um, but yeah, and then we go into next week. There's only 2 games, so 6 points to play for. If Joe could get a win against Magnus and Magnus beat Niall, that'd be perfect for me going into the last week. I mean, I'm 4 points away from Niall. I can't see him losing 2 games, to be honest. But you never know. I've also got him
Stranger
in a
things
semi.
have happened. Stranger things have happened in this league. I mean,
So,
you've had a
what's
good
going on
team.
with you? Yeah, what's going on?
Just the usual. One loss, one draw, one win. It seems to be a reoccurring theme. I either lose 2 games or I lose one and draw one. I'll start off with my first game of the week against Olivier, and it was a 3-2 loss. It was one of those games. I can't remember much about it, but it was just a poor game. And then I played Alan, who I think might have thrown a toaster in the bathtub while he was in it after the Ronaldo 86th minute winner. I said to myself I was not going to talk about this, but I am because I can't help myself. So he essentially,
You was
everybody knows
always
me and
talking
Alan.
about it.
Me and Alan, we've always had a bit of a rough and tumble relationship, and when I realised I was drawn in the league with him, I thought, "Oh, this would be good," because we always have good games. As much as we have this um, love-hate relationship, he loves me
Yeah,
in the
you love
transfer
him. He
windows.
hates you.
Well, yeah, but he loves me in the transfer windows because I will give him money, overpriced money for players I want. Um, he's not my biggest fan, is he? And Alan won't watch this, so nobody will care. But I did beat him it was 3-2, and a couple of weeks ago, I think where it was playing you or somebody else, I can't remember, I think it might be you, put a poll up saying, is Chrissy scared of CR7? And everyone was like, no, 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 no. Well, who came back to bite Alan? Whoa, big CR7 sub in the last 15 minutes or so, I think. Scores the goal.
Poetic.
Oh, it was written in the stars as well. With him being a United fan, it was written in the stars.
Cam, let me ask you a question regarding the league while we're talking about it. So, this is obviously for I know a lot of the managers will listen to the pods. So, you said you won one, drew one, lost one.
See,
Are you happy with the one game versus opponent, or would you prefer to see the home and away legs come back?
I'm actually hit and miss because I don't have that much time. So playing one opponent at a time is great because it means you just get a
One
game in
game per
5 minutes.
opponent. Yeah.
Yeah, and then now you're playing. Whereas before you were having to mark out half an hour in the calendar, and if you were playing 3 games on a night, or 2 games on a night, or 3 games on a night, whatever, you were marking out an hour and a half to 2 hours, easy out your night. Whereas it can literally be 15 minutes max. So it's one of those. I'm still on the fence about it, but I like it as a whole. It's a whole. It's good. And then obviously my last game, which I'm talking about, which was the draw against Ross. So Ross has come back. So
Welcome
we
back,
welcome Ross
Ross.
back. And he has took over Eintracht Frankfurt from Shane, who has had to leave for I think it was work commitments. So Shane will listen to this. Shane's a good lad. Shane knows we love him. And
it's a shame to see Shane leave, but it's nice. It's nice to have Ross back.
A shame.
It's nice to see Ross
But
back.
yeah, so yeah, and Ross has came back. He won, was it 6-2 at some point this week? And yeah, it was Vinny Jr. who then got sent off after like 20 minutes, and I thought, I'm in a chance here. This is my chance to put another 3 points on board and completely blow him away. Well, he had all the shots, he had all the possession, he had all the shots on target. He was battering us with 10 men. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. There was really not. And it wasn't like the games where you just seen as the game was going past, it was like racking up. I think I had at one point 4 shots and he had 12. And I was going, oh, this isn't good. And this was after Vinny being sent off. So it ended up where I was 1-0 up to like 60th minute, something like that. And it was just one of them, as I like to call it, sweaty goals from FIFA. Ball is played down, you lose the ball in your own half. They get the ball, they play it all the way down the right-hand side, and they get to the byline and they bash it across the box, and somebody just manages to be running in at the exact right time. It goes through the body of the goalkeeper and goes in.
Good goal.
So yeah, it was Lorenzo Lucas should not have been it right back. I don't know why he decided to go there and chase the ball down and win it back and then pass it straight to their centre midfielder. No idea. Just kick it out for a corner. But I was just okay. I can live with this. And then I brought some subs on, and nothing. Literally, I think there was like one highlight for both teams at that point. For the rest of the game, it was pretty poor. So yeah, that was my week. But we must talk about 2 people here. There's 2 people we must talk about. One is nearer the top and one is nearer the bottom. First one we're going to talk about at the top. Quickly talk about Craig Barker, who is pulled out a worldy season for Craig. He got shafted getting Getafe when he rejoined. But he's made a promising start as a manager in the Eastern League. He's made some very good signings. He's joined top. You know what I mean? Like, I think he could get the title this year. I think he could. I think there is actually that chance, which is terrifying. And we must talk about the man who.
Sorry, Wait. He's talking about Craig Parker. Yeah, like you said, brilliant season. I love seeing managers who did get the short straw the season before. I mean, we'll see it again in the Western in a sec. Play and do really well. Watching Craig do well is brilliant. However, for him to win this league title, he has an FMSL podcast double whammy. He plays me and you.
He's going to be a filling in my sandwich, I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you what, just for that, we need to see if we can get him on next week.
Oh, I think he's scheduled, so we'll find out.
That'll be fantastic.
We'll find out, but we'll beat him first,
Sorry,
and then we'll bring him on. So you'll
yeah.
So you're fired up, and
We
then
can make him cry live on the pod.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. That would be good. It would definitely.
Go on, sorry. Who are you talking about?
Who do you think I want to talk about?
Joe.
Nope.
Oh, Anish.
Panish himself. It is
the man who doesn't get enough airtime.
Well,
we actually had a good game today.
Yeah, I seen that. It was
really
3-2, wasn't it?
3-2.
Yeah.
Pogba got a hat trick. He was not happy.
Well, he's a man. Again, Manchester United fans not doing very well in this league, are they? Bottom three places. Two of them. I'm not sure about Wesley's.
Saying that, ain't Niall a Man United fan?
Yeah, but he doesn't count. He's plastic. He knows Mark Goldbridge, so. So yeah, I mean, Anish, I love you, buddy, but you're not having the best of seasons. It's quite funny, actually. It really is, because he banged on about me not buying Henderson. But saying that, if he gets a win in his next game, it's probably going to be on level points for me. Depending on how many goals he scores in that game, it's going to probably be ahead of me. So I'm worried.
I think he plays Joe. So
a nice draw for that match. I'll take that.
I'm gonna say draw. Yeah, good 2-2. Desmond.
I don't want to be too far behind the pack. That's all I don't want. I don't want to be behind. I want to be in that top half, but I don't think I will be. But yeah, right, so we'll move it on. Sorry, Anna, you get no more airtime. So let's have a look at the West End. Gladbach top. Only played 8 games. Lovely stuff.
Still a point ahead. Only played 8 games. And Lazio, Valencia, Marseille on 10 games. Jake following up closely behind him. Also not played any games. I know he's had a new job and he's been a bit busy. Then Chrissy was talking about. I didn't realise it. Yeah, I didn't realise he was so far down the table. Craig John Don. Yeah, James Bonds. Nice mid-table, still not playing any games. The Western seems a bit quiet. It's a bit quiet on the old Western fronts.
He's quiet on the Western front, eh? It is. I mean, you got Steve at West Ham.
But there's not too much. Like that league doesn't shock. Like,
yeah,
I can see Danny, Furman, Dan, New Joe, Jake, Craig, and then Bruno, I'm surprised about, but again, they haven't played many games, so it's quite hard to.
And
shout
then
out to Andy playing all his games.
There's Andy playing all his games and still ended up second bottom.
He's not bottom. He's not bottom.
He's not bottom. He's second bottom. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how that league pans out. I do want to talk about. I do actually want to talk about Craig John Don, which is I think who you were referring to in the last piece there. So yeah, Craig is. I love the guy a bit. I honestly do. The guy is just one of the nicest guys in the world. But he is a Birmingham City fan, so this weekend he is target number 1. But he's a lovely guy, and he's always had the short straw, hasn't he? He's always had it.
Do you know what? I don't think what I think it is with Craig, and it's not that he try too hard. Like, he really goes in detail, but what he does is he double thinks himself. So he gets it in his head that he has a list of players, and then he comes to me and he's like, "Oh, who do you think I should draft out of these players?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's quite good. I'd probably prefer him." And he's like, "Now I'll draft the other one." I was like, "Well, okay, you do you, mate." But this time, he's had the
I thought you were
money.
gonna just
He's had
say.
the.
I thought you were just gonna
He's
say
had,
it's because he forgets transfer windows, but yeah.
no.
He
He's
turns
quite
up like
active.
he turned. But
I've got
it's
so
quite
many.
active
He sent me so
after
many
he turns up.
photos
Yeah, but it's after he turns
of
up
his
after three
notepad.
days, like Darren,
Yeah.
and like Darren and goes, is the window open? Fucking aye, it is, man. You daft cunt. You're not seeing the window chat's been open for 3 days now. No, sorry.
It's in my
Who's
spam.
selling any
It's in my
top players?
spam.
They're gone. They're fucking
Yeah.
gone, mate. You got shit. Do you want to buy Harry Kane for 60 million? Like, come on, man. Like, fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same. And I thought Darren was actually doing better than he was. I was going to talk
It's
about
not
Darren,
actually.
but yeah, I thought he's doing better. And obviously, Luis is sitting down there as
I mean,
well.
it's. I mean, from. I mean, all the players from Rennes down to Galatasaray. There's 3 points in it, and they've all still got 2-3 games to play. So I think next week we'll have a better look at it and see who's
Yeah,
there
we'll
and
have a
how
quick
it
look
goes.
next week because it's the
It's
final week of the
definitely it's
window as
at the
well.
moment. At the moment, it's Danny's league to lose.
Yeah.
The way that it's looking. I mean, 11 plus Furman is on his tail, but Danny's still got 2 games in hand, so be interesting to see how that one pans out.
It will. And obviously, commiserations to Craig for finishing bottom of the league. Because no offense, mate, you're not getting any. You're not getting any higher. I love you, but you're not getting any higher unless Andy pulls off a miracle and decides to just not win any more games. But yeah. So moving on dead quickly because we are well over time here.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're well over time. So Heenan Cup. Were these games played last week or this week? I don't even know at this point.
Heenan, the quarterfinals were last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost to Lewis in extra time. But yeah, so the semi-finals will be next week, along with the FMSL Cup semi-finals. Valencia against Fenerbahce and Florentina against Monaco. So Bruno Simon, Dan Bicker against Lewis. So there's 2 nice matchups there.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think. Who's your prediction for this? Because I think apart from Bruno, who's an unknown quantity, all of these remaining players, your Monaco, Fenerbahce, and Valencia, they've all won cups in the past. So
I can see it being a Florentina. I don't know. Yeah, Florentina. No, Simon might. I see it's hard. Okay, this is really tight, so I think I'm gonna go start from the other side now because I've done a Craig and I'm not thinking straight. So we'll go Fenerbahce in extra time, and I'm gonna go Florentina in normal time 2-1.
nice. I'm going to go with Valencia versus Fiorentina.
Oh,
I,
what a final!
I love Simon and I love Luis, but I just the way Dan's
That,
playing,
yeah, that was a tough one.
it's
Thing
so
is though,
solid.
Lewis. Yeah, but Lewis is turning it around, mate. He
Yeah,
was
I
like
know.
second from bottom, and now he's up there.
Yeah,
It'll be
I
good. It'll be
know,
good.
but
It'll be a good game.
I
I've got to
feel
back
with
my boy.
Dan, especially after his semi-final defeat to the mighty Toon on on Wednesday. I think for me, it's like, well, I've got to give him something. And Bruno, I think, is an unknown quantity, and I think he's doing quite well more in the cups. And I've seen that with a few teams that are doing better in the cups than they are in the league. So I
But the
think
thing,
it's
the
going to
thing
be
is,
Valencia
with
Fiorentina.
with Bruno, now let's not talk about league positions. And I mean, he's got to a semi-final of a cup in his first season. You can't knock that.
Yeah,
But
you can't.
the way he is in the community, how he gets involved with everyone, it's
Oh
just
yeah,
really sick.
totally. It's really good. I mean, it's nice to see somebody coming in who doesn't know the lads, giving them absolute grief, myself included, and it's
Yeah,
good
good
crap.
man.
It's good crack, isn't it? So, I mean, I hope the best for all the teams. However, in this, I hope for Crystal Palace to get all
Oh,
the way to a
this. Hang on.
final.
This is this. When was this done? Today.
I thought I'd done this today, yeah. Unless I'm mistaken, but I'm
Yeah,
convinced I
because
just did this an hour ago.
the
Nope, it's not. It's not been up. I thought I'd pressed up. I thought I'd updated it, but it's not. So I will read you off my screen now. Anyway, I'll make up for this chronicle error. So we have in the quarterfinals, it ended up being Valencia versus Galatasaray. Galatasaray won that one. Leipzig versus Aston Villa. No, it was Leipzig. Leipzig won. Then we had Crystal Palace, Fenerbahce. We know them. Palace blood runs thick in this cup. And then we had the old Premier League matchup, Newcastle versus Brighton. And Joe, you've let me down. You've let the whole fan base down. You got a bye in the first round of this cup. You are a disgrace to you and Newcastle. Brighton won. So it is now a Brighton Crystal Palace semi final, again, all Premier League, versus Galatasaray versus Leipzig, which seems like Europa Conference kind of semi final. So I
that's got
guess we'll
cards.
see. I
Conference League
guess we'll see
cards.
with that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I was convinced I updated that. But anyway, moving swiftly on,
Oh,
Chrissy's
so
track of the
many
week.
tears I've tried, so much pain inside. Baby, it ain't over till it's
Oh,
over. And I picked this song just because it ain't over till it's over.
it isn't over till it's over. And I mean, I love a bit of Lenny Kravitz. Just you can't beat it. You can't. And I think it's
It's just a
important that
feel
obviously
good.
it's so
It's a
feel
feel
good.
good song. You look at I showed you the lyrics earlier, and I mean I'm not going to read them out, but have a look, and I'm sure he was talking about FM 25 not getting released,
I
and
mean,
we're carrying
he
on
obviously knew
with
what
FM
FM
24.
25
I reckon he's a
in
motivational
1991.
manager
In
and football
1991.
manager.
Oh yeah, he knew about this in 1991. He knew. He could have told all, but he didn't. Um, yeah, but to be fair, it ain't over till it's over. It ain't, and that includes the leagues as well, because there's a lot of different things that could happen now. And I think for you, winning a cup this year would be really good. I think for the eastern side of the league, I would love to see Craig Parker win. Sorry, Neil, but I'd love to see Craig Parker win. And for the western side, he is top, and I hope he stays top. I hope Danny wins it because Danny is a good friend of mine, and I really want to see him do well. I really, really want to see him do well. Um, and my track of the week, very quickly, is a beautiful number by a good friend of mine, Andrew Cushion. All right, off his gonna be second album, which is called "Love Is for Everyone," which comes out in May. Seems like I'm pressing this now, doesn't it? I feel like I'm being paid. Is this what people who like do sponsored things feel like?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you
Cam, can I
reckon?
just
Like, yeah, go on.
I've got some live updated results
Oh, some live
from the
live
Western League.
results.
From the
Oh,
Western
go on,
League,
go on. Give me.
Rennes beat Valencia, which is Jake beat
Ooh,
Danny 3-1. With a sending off there.
Meta FC.
We also have Lille beat New Joe 2-1. Darren fighting back, coming in swinging. And then this one, you'll love this one. Rennes 2, Gladbach 6.
Woo! Yeah, Danny!
It was 3-0 up at
Fucking
half
yes,
time.
son.
Mbappe scored twice. Perfect game.
Oh, how beautiful. Do you know what, Danny? That song is for you, my
Uh,
friend, because you are all right, my friend. You are all right.
I tell you what, we were saying about it not being busy. Maybe the Western League likes to wait till Friday.
Maybe.
Danny played Craig. Napoli, 2-2. Desmond finished. Two late goals from Danny, actually, 80 seconds and 90 plus 3 to secure a point. And then the last game that's been updated so far. Oh, Craig gets a point at the bottom. Aston Villa draw with Galatasaray. 1-1.
I can't
Well
do
done,
another
Craig.
wahoo thing. I've just took all the
He-
air out of my sails there.
I mean, he had 19 shots, 12 on target, an XG of 2.05. More possession. He looked like he had the better game, but he didn't score until the 80th minute. So, classic FM. But yeah,
Class. Yeah, we're loving it. We're
nice. There you
loving
go. A little live update for the people.
nice. That was a nice segue. But yeah, just quickly to finish this off.
Sorry, mate.
Great tune. Go and listen to it. Go and listen to it. It's a fucking great tune. It will make you feel great.
All right. Mate, you feel all right?
It'll make you feel great, and it'll make you feel all right, and you'll feel good, and then you want to listen to it again and again and again. But yeah, that is us, Chrissy. That is the two of us. That is just the two
Mm.
of us now.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a great pod. Like I said, we had a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah,
A lot of big things are going to happen in the league. I'm really, really excited for it.
yeah,
I'm buzzing for the window. It's going to be good to see people now that we're going to go a few more seasons, maybe draft a few younger players in. You know what I mean? Try and see how it goes. But yeah, we'll talk about that on next week's pods when we get the chance. Hopefully, we get a guest on soon. But I love it just me and you, man.
Oh
It's,
yeah,
it's good
we're
times. But
vibing.
yeah, thanks
We're
for having
vibing.
us.
Oh
Thanks for having us
no,
again, bruv. Always a pleasure.
anytime, man. It is always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure. And to everybody watching at home, we all know that me and Chrissy are basically brothers from another mother. Um, so it's always nice to spend time talking about FM and life with the main man.
Yeah,
But you know, we've got a lot of things to look forward to in the coming weeks and months. So stay tuned, stay positive, keep the good vibes up, and hopefully it won't be long till we are staring down the barrel of FM 26 and we're going, will this have verses in it, please? So we'll find
I
out.
will
We'll
find
find
out.
we'll find out. But yeah. Well,
Nice
big
one.
love to you, brother, and
See you later,
we
brother.
will see
Speak
you
to
on
you
the
soon.
next one. Love you, man. And unfortunately, you've had to listen to 47 minutes of me and Chrissy rambling shit, and that's okay, and that's all right, because do you know what? You're going to take this in, and you are going to live it and breathe it, because this is FMSL. So, thank you very much for watching the FMSL podcast, episode 29. It ain't over till it's over. I'll see you somewhere down the road. Take care.